dafa am lu mu wàññi indi si Talib versus UDP because soo bàyyee xel first time bi Talib winning 2017 Talib's boy came over the one.
Mane Babel xaaral ma def announcement ngeen waa UDP seen executive yaa ngay dem de man sax soo leen maa executive position ban ngeen maa jox leen ma jox nag tokatif
PRO
yàlla baax na man léegi I don't even argue parce que UDP mu ne loolu noonu muuvut leen ana kuy nuyu nañ la askan bi yow bii ba ñun ñu nekk waa Banjul gisuma la mere naa la maam
léegi daf dee war a am ñu ñëpp ñu toog suñu toogee on a plateforme ñu make a non-biased analysis without pointing or without any kind of hate or without any kind of mer against somebody nañ accept ne Talib was UDP he was once praised why what he did now is wrong why wrong be are we seeing it now su fekkee ne legally xew na now then analyze moving forward now then look at the involvement of Nena Fede at MC Cham into Team Talib these two will be the key players te faa feeñ si right now very soon faa feeñ daga gisa suñu ko Talib amu MC Cham ni kon Talib dafa yew ne mut on a UDP ne mut la def but ñoo ñëw infiltrate Talib change the mindset at doxalinam why Talib was working very well according to UDP principles so lii laa foog ne how ma why UDP media house are not seeing that or not analyzing ne because loolu it works well for the party it also does bad for the party but the truth mooy ne ñi bu ñëwee booy sneen deviate ton xeli saawa MC Cham loo bëggoon def kii naka loo bëggoon def naka GDC but gars yi bañ the same thing li gars yi bañ GDC loo ñëw def on with Talib right now same thing
génn si suma mayor bi
non ñi
yow minister of car lañ laa def UDP yow Umi yow minister of car
bila noonu jaam li moo digga de MC Cham suñu waay la waaye li moo def in GDC
am na ñu ma fi jiitu de waaye tuuti rek laa la bëgg a tontu sama mayor xam nga man lan laa understand yéen da ngeen a wax ne Ousainou Darboe dafa yaaga ceeñuñ ko which I agree totally right mu ngi mel ni tenka dafa am UDP léegi Talib tenku na génn na because of moom xëj na bëggut ko tenka
waaye Talib génn UDP de
déedéet li ma miin mooy comme resign na from the executive
yeah
waaw ba pare tamit xam nga tamit béy dafa weesu mbuus nag Umi man duma toog fii nii nag yow fi mu nekk nii yow boo ma doon liggéeyal ci Antar bugga naa nga am sa salon yi boppa dem nag ba beru nag jànxa nekk ne everybody has to be a follower
no
ba pare tamit xoolal ba pare xam nga man li nga wax si MC Cham ak ñooñu man I think dama ko gisee neneen because KMC Talib I think si li ma gis mooy he was trying to let me get the record straight nag man duma Talib duma UDP man Halifa Sallah moo dee si suma xol moo nekk si suma génn si
xaw ma ndax yow yaa ko tey
Paos li ma laa bëgg a wax mooy xamuloo ne tamit just a question because yow moom you are more alert on his council stuff remember you helped Rohey Malick Lowe a lot you volunteer in Banjul a lot which I really appreciate because non-life citizen did that. Fogolo Tami, like Talib was just trying to be diverse, trying to be mayor for all because KMC Bimneka, Nekune everybody is UDP. Then just Neka Danga Neka mayor KMC rek Danga employ Kuneka UDP rek. They ngende complain. What do you think?
Okay, how much more minute
Duma Talib nak na leer.
Wa no
man Umi suma yumpaañ la. Umi suma yumpaañ la mooy seeti Halifa Sallah bi dégg ngeen na leer.
léegi xam nga léegi ngeen déglu ma bu baax a baax ak xel. Now nañ look at the positive and the negative. Politics la. Talib is not wrong in any shape or form. Lim def is politics. Lim def is politics. Lu lawyer Darboe def politics, all for him is politics. Yep, politics la. Now ku ci nekk nag fi nga faral nag su na jeekoo da ngaa jooy. Lawyer politics. Now Talib coming into the party.
Ak yow nag si benn board bi nga jël man ci bu xaar li nga wax politics and morals àndul. I really agree with you. I agree ak yow.
They destroy themselves.
Ndanka rek bu leen saaxee pa us benn ndanka rek.
Ma jekkali. Dama baal rek ma jekkali ma daay rek after ngeen ñëw ndax. Waaw man bi maa dugg si politique Gambia dama pare sangu boo jëfante ko xam naa si li maa dugg lan la. Ragaluma tey ragaluma kenn te anywhere dama taxaw wax lu ma neex joxoñ ku ma neex nik lan ñi fit bi ñëpp am ba bokk politique man loolu dama ko naan ba puub ko mu jeex takk su ragaluma dara ragaluma kenn waaw waxtaan rek la moo nekk a respect otherwise ku nekk nag gag sa gasta now li ma wax mooy ne na nañ look at the positive side of what Talib did and the negative side of what Talib did. Likewise, what is Talib representing in UDP? Lii suma own opinion analysis la. Waxuma ne digga la, waxuma ne fen la. Forcewuma kenn pour mu gëm ko, forcewuma kenn pour mu ñàkk koo gëm. Man nekk ma si xeli kenn. Now, waaye lii ni environment di mel loolu I used to develop from what I think and what I saw. Now, Talib coming to UDP symbolized one thing. It was a symbol of unity and diversity. Now, li tax ma wax loolu mooy ne dañ naan toog di wax ne UDP parti sosé la. That was the allegation. Waaye Talib ñëw and it defied that allegation ne nekkati woo UDP liñ foog ne loolu la nekkut loolu. So Talib symbolized ne parti baa ngee go towards diversity. That's number one. Now, number two, Talib bi mu ñëwee UDP dafa bëggoon a diversify the party open up, which was very good for the party, and I think that the party could have capitalized on Talib Bensouda, used Talib to the best of their ability pour parti mun a am liggéey buga sacrifice Talib Bensouda politique la. But Talib lim daf mooy bim inee MC Cham at neneen fede bi ñëwee they went direct to Talib instead of jébal to UDP. Then jébal to Talib Bensouda directly. Supported him, ate him, and campaigned with him. Talib win. Now, big Talib winning, he tried to open up the party. But then, the saying goes, and it's been verified on many occasions, UDP is not a party being a hamne, any golo gong munga nyo fulane at any time, bugo nyo control narrative. It's been said here. Now, Talib nyo, buga defied that, and there was a blockage, because MC Cham at Nenefrida, in as much as they call themselves UDP, they stop at only what Talib wants and what Talib says and did not promote the agenda of UDP at any time. So, Limo held, then bit Talib Nue, Lisweke Fenla, Talib first time, look how Talib was so engaging to UDP. Compared to Talib's second term, how much was he close to a proper UDP? Ninga hamne example, ya kumba jata mugi KMC faladika. Kemo Bojang Mui KMC, Momo and at Foot Talib them, the right hand man of Talib Moy Kemo Bojang. Even when you UK, Peter Bos Mossi Sanyum. That contract been signed no. Talib Bensouda at Kemo New Anda. Kemo was the youth councillor, so much active and involved. Now, Swekadama Fancy Commission BD, did you see any youth vouchers or any youth related activity in the second term of Talib Bensouda? Did it? Everything happened in the first term and signed by Kemo Bojang. Now, Lee, UDP senior Lee is not going to be to the advantage of the party because Talib Bensouda mugi buy you on tutti. So focus so much on Nenefrida and MC Cham. And the crew, ñi nga xamne ñom la gaay anal ini. Gis nga fi on TikTok ñi nan oy independent platform. Gis nga ku defa fa nga boka. Now, these were the associates of Talib Bensouda on the other side, outside UDP. Te li nak ben parti du ko buga. Because party at some point, they wanted to sustain the culture and the ethos of the party, which Talib did not subscribe to fully or Nim Andal. Now, secondly, more hell. Now, it's either Talib Gina or what do you do, or the fact talk and union or the boss union, Yahanson party, I don't believe.
Yeah, you want to see my point with it. You want to see my point with it.
Brother, yo, part was low, Hamuloko, right?
Why, Jerejef?
Part was native.
You don't know what you
Jamarek.
UDP. You made some very good observations, and all political parties in Gambia, one, you have a sense of entitlement that has nothing to do with tribe, but just the Gambian psyche. Kula jitu plus fongnane mola chi opale. That's just normal. Whether chi ligay kaila, danga neka chi ligay kaisa, nit nga neka bosam. Dula buga deglul because fongnane mola gena yaga fofo. So it's just how we think, and I think how we wired culturally. And when Nene and Talib joined UDP, I think it was a breath of fresh air having outsiders moderate to come into a party. But at the same time, it poses some problems. The problems it posed was more nyifa nekon prior, nyom duñ like lolu. So wujente dafte am bepare, what type of agenda were these people to push? The general overall agenda or a specific agenda? So there were conflicts and clashes. Why mandama fonda ne there was a failure in leadership, i.e., meaning the party structures should have nipped this off the board early on rather than leave it to chance, set and go over time. You spoke about diversity, and I think on the issue of diversity, one only has to understand the historic, the political history of the party itself. Someone like Mariam Jack, someone like Femi Peters, someone like Amutal, someone like Ibu Mane, someone like Pesenjai were very instrumental in the formation of UDP. And they played instrumental roles in the execution of the party agenda and functions. And all of these people, they were non-Mandinkas and very prominent, not just figureheads, but prominent in terms of decision-making, vision, and the execution of the party agenda. Man lima fongda le moy problem UDP, communication. Why do I say communication? Overwhelming majority of Nyide Saga, when I say Saga, I'm not talking about personal haste, but ethnic haste. Were not part of the organization in terms of its day-to-day activity, but the party stood silent for far too long. And that narrative or that perception ended up becoming the reality. And that's one thing UDP really left a blind eye on, and today they are paying the price in terms of the perception that overwhelming majority of non-party members look at them. Lastly, and Lee C. Jame Ladore, once again, communication. Jame had two agendas. One was an age agenda, and he made sure it stuck. What do I mean by that? So hole sugaigenan say any other party, not only APRC, but any other party vying against them. Send supporters, we need young power. We need young man. We don't need old power. And that message stuck. And when that message stuck, there was nothing that could be done. And I'll give you a classic example. You look at Halifa and Dabo. They are contemporaries in the same sense that sen age gap must be very minute, lututila neka, 1 to 5 years max. But Halifa never suffered from that. I'm out. I'm just here to...
continue.
Wow, so hole Lolo, Halifa must just suffer. No, Dugawa give up. I don't have time for certain things. I'm sorry. So hole Halifa, relative to Dabo, he never suffered from that ridicule of age. But it's not Halifa's fault, but it was deliberate by Jame. And the reason why it was deliberate by Jammeh, if Jammeh looked at the whole opposition, the only threat to his existence at the time was UDP. How can I get them to look bad? He created a message, and the message highly resonated. Then the next thing, Linga Hamne, after message bow, when the tribal card was pushed on the party, Sunit Nubari Fatalako, Yaya Jammeh daf daan openly taxaw ne soo du yaaga be nekka buur nekka ci nguur fii ci dëkk bi. Number one. Number two, this party is a tribal party. The party never did much. When I say the party, I'm not talking about supporters. The executive itself never did much to debunk that. And Lulu, over time, it also stuck. But sadly, the biggest Achilles heel for them, as far as I'm concerned, being an outsider looking in, the narrative of the party was controlled by non-executives and members, but sympathizers, in the sense that social media be lifa don help more modern direct land more narrative party, and that was not the narrative of the party, but the party allowed itself over time by not calling out those people. And now, because of lack of communication over time, they are suffering for that. And structurally, to change that, it takes more than a year. It takes more than 2 years, because Denko allow for far too long. And most of what you said, like I said, once again, I kind of see with you eye to eye on it. And I just wanted to contribute a little bit on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Nyang. I'm not going to agree with Atlima or Lima Diga. So, Sunakane Kukumuna knew wax nu gën lima wax o lo xamne mën na daj lima wax tamit ko mën na wax xam kan la won
boy yen boy ko no yo so sey la gay bañ boy yen sen travel fi ay bi Gambia boy yen so sey nga mané yow bul wax lolu yow kam la wax
lolu bro xam nga waxtaan so sey
ñang wacce na
maybe why I think we need to address that waxtaan ko ñu wacce di ñew waxtaan ci why lolu dafa am lu mo wone. It's a reflection of him. Why waxtaan su si nit di ñew, you should have points that you can bring or positions that you can bring that people can discuss about, rather than taking the cheap shot of just labeling and calling out people, because koku ñewut fa ak ham-ham, ñewut fa ak substance, why dafa ñew emotionally to engage in a conversation, and at the end of the day dafa degenerate the level of conversation. Why? Man Barka Demba, when this Omar Baji died, Silane Gambia suffered from a tribal problem, but Gambia doesn't suffer from an ignorant problem, because so Holebi Omar Baji Day in Mandinari, the outrage went across economic lines, social lines, tribal lines. So Sululu they held up, they mainly Gambians, then they unconscious of some of the positions they harbor. So, and it's a conflict. Conflict meaning is a paradox. The same very Gambian, ye oye, ye tribalists, they're receiving help, they're receiving support, they're receiving endorsement against what has happened to Omar Baji. And at the same time, I Oloflen, I Soselen, I Pullen, I Manjagolen, I Sarahulelen. So it's very contradictory sometimes to understand problem in Gambia. Because the very people we call tribalists are the very people denouncing police brutality without looking or wearing tribal lenses. So I wonder sometimes that we have a divisive politics that use the tribal card as a way of divide and rule and to also gain control. Why are we really tribalists? Or when it comes to power sharing, tribalism comes to the forefront. Because so holeli heudemba, haleine contribute. They're a cross-section of Gambian tribes. And at no point did that issue came up. Likewise, this has nothing to do with this conversation. Why? I wrote about it yesterday. Moine, if you look at the Public Order Act, Limwa, the very government of Gambia, more violate the enforcement of the Public Order Act. Hale igin and indi dochitali can stop lenne ana permit. Can stop lenne on anaka unlawful procession. So I wonder whether selective application of the law more than
Gambians when it comes to day.
No, waxewuma ko Gambian si de man maa ngi wax government bi.
li nga wax mooy I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm reinforcing li nga wax ne fan lañ ko dee apply, like where do they use tribalism or whatever. loolu laa wax ne when it comes to death and all that, maybe they forgot about tribalism.
No, it's not about dying there.
Yaa ngi xam di dead horse theory.
Wow.
That's what we try to. That's the Gambia.
Yes and no. Yes, I agree. No, dama gis ne ñun, the only thing that divides us is politics. Other than politics, football, we are united. In terms of rights of people, we are united. In terms of having national solidarity when floods and other things happen, we are united. Suñ ne bari bu dafa am tey àll bu yëbbul laka nit ñi seen kër yaaw ñu go fund me. Gambians yëpp ay génne xaalis irrespective of tribe. So power sharing, I think we have been wired from onset to look at power sharing on tribal lines.
The same thing like the Gambia amul tribalism, but we have tribalist politics, and it's not bad to be a tribalist, but it's bad when you use it to your advantage against the other and suppress them. This was my narrative just like Bakidimba. There's no tribalism in the country.
No, man, gumnanet Gambia amul tribalism, but when it comes to power sharing, the biggest fearmonger is called tribe. The biggest asset to be used against each other is tribe. Why sulolu pase? Yankuba Mintengini, Sosela, but Gambians across the board love him. Musa Barrow, Sosela, Gambians across the board love him. Musga dega a conversation about Yankuba or Musa with tribe as it relates to tribe. Even soon play it well in a game. No, we never. Musuma kigena yes Gambia do dega watan bu deme nono. So sometimes Foknane ñun as Gambians, we need to look deep, but in as much as we need to look deep, we need to be introspective, Ñu xoolaat from within ñun suñ boppa. Ñun ñi call out others. Do we have a tribal sentiments? The answer is yes. And this is an age-old thing. So Gambian ci ñëpp ñun ñëpp we have tribal sentiment. Why tribal sentiment bi niñ ko dee jëlee du dee nekk loo xam ne dañ ko dee tey. We were wired and brought up that way. Waa kaw gi is a stereotype and it's very negative, number one. If you look at a Mandinka speaking Mandinka addressing a Wolof elder, defut ko because daf ko bañ, daf ko xeeb, daf ko lifin, dafa ne nasurwandingo. Why aku keba? There's no ndingo after the word aku, but there's ndingo after the word surwa. And the point I am just trying to get at moy, ñun ñep man mi yo hakyo demba dalnama. I was at my mom's house having breakfast with my sister because she's in town. Tomayam Fatu Baji Latuda, right? And Tomayam Sumahariti popular since childhood. But guess what? When I was addressing my sister jokingly, maybe I could have used the word Mindan when I could say Yaisun Jolabi. Because Munyo Togal, Munge Tek, Munge Tegi. That's a negative stereotype. But honestly, it was not ill-intended, but nonetheless, because we are so wired that way, it came out easily. And I'm just taking back man suma bopa lo hamne dama ko def amut ben negative intent, but it is, the connotation is ugly. Why tayuma ko? But because nodu lañ waye, whenever you're talking about domestic help, 99% of the time that's the word that comes after. So ñun ñep generally as Gambians, we have an ethnic bias. Some it's very pronounced, but some others it's not so pronounced. Why ñun ñep were at fault? Because we were wired to wear those lenses. And it starts with all of us accepting that we have issues rather than always pouncing on one group ne ñom ñoo am problem. Ñun sax dañ am problem. So c'est du social ken. It's a negative stereotype. But then ko gum in our subconscious, because then yaga di dega word be bemu reinforce in our psyche. But ñun duñ ko dee nangu waaye dañ dee mun a gis bu keneen waaye duñ dee mun a gis suñ bos. We are all sick as Gambians, and the reason we're sick is our social configuration. Sorry. No, that's fine. I'm not going to
Fana Sam. Yo wala gondo. Ibama
Sam wala haha. Guy no Sam wala haha.
Halalam to the gondo.
Yeah, man, brother, Nyang, Lumo, Labuga, work to the regular because Lumo, why, you know.
No, what, Ibama, wait, Harold. So, Sam, yo, wala gondo. Brother Nyang, Nina.
Wow.
That is watchal. The Gambians,
Babel. Nyang lal na tuti si bum do wax no luma do wax ne I disagree with some of the things in never do come UDP like Talib diversity no UDP has always been diverse. It's just that negative stereotype would I call it or that negative perception bo xamne ay demé most start to label UDP in a certain kind of a way to kind of shun people against the UDP. More is that negative perception in the minds of a lot of people. But UDP has always been diverse. Come young listener, many number of people from across all ethnicities, form the UDP. Like say listener guy, right? So come with the Talib issue, there is no way anyone can sugarcoat this. It's nothing short of a betrayal, in my view. You understand? Betrayal modern politics. No, we should not be encouraging these kinds of things. Come like betrayal and motivate politics. So what are we preaching to the younger generation? What are we preaching to our politics? Our politicians, that they should not honor their words. You can say one thing today and then just do the direct opposite. Then bunde wa Adama Barrow dara then kon bun ko de wa dara because Adama Barrow like lo len ko de ngañ dafa wax li mo promise li du def li Talib made promises ne mom UDP kuñ munti tana mom dafa rally behind that person. You understand? And there's no reason man gisuma any reason why Talib should at this point at this crucial stage, right? Muwara betray UDP in this kind of a way. I see no reason. Talib you develop def man gisuma lo because you made a promise, your words caught up with you. Yo wax ne ki so apply ken waxul la nga wax ko yako nga pare yo sa boba yo tam ya ñu nga withdraw your application. So what do these people want? I don't understand that. I don't understand what.
Assalamu alaikum ma yenu ñep.
La fay bro nay may xala mu danal.
Okay, no problem.
Sam xala fa mu ngi am call de. Anyway Sam ñëwal. Then after daddy
si platform bi.
Okay, ñëwaat nga.
So luma nekk di wax man I don't know like these Talib advocates ak mom si bopam like why are they angry? I don't get it. Because you are one thing and then it caught up with you. So do they want for UDP to just hang up? Disregard all of our processes and procedures. New hand pick mom so they know la one back in 2018. So they know la one because mom back in 2018 no one knew him. The other people knew contest talon, knew people knew then get a ham. So soon we're on a hand pick mom don't go musajil. You understand? So mom at this point he should not have done this to the UDP. I think that video Bonegaro MC Cham is new. So what he's trying to do, he is publicly defying the UDP because like mom, he has not resigned. But what he is trying to do is agitate the UDP to expel him. So that when they do that, Talib and his people, they will pull the victim card to say, well, you see, they're the ones who expelled me. So if I were UDP, I would just look at them like that. I will not say anything. Because Gambia, UDP soon what a jail step, even though Talib is not right. You cannot be part of a party and then you them canvass for votes or canvass for your bid for presidency when your party has already selected their flag bearer. Openly, You understand? But what he's trying to do is to upset the UDP pour ñu expel ko. Nga gis suñ ko expelé léegi dina am excuse dina wax ne okay léegi ñoom ñoo ma daaxa. I mean, bro, man, these young politicians, man, these old guards, Dabo, Halifa Salah, sit man, Mandal, man. Even 2031, as soon man, I will still go with them. These young ones, nah, man. Man, I don't trust any of these, boy.
Well, how correct what I said earlier on being a comment. There is something called perception, and perception always sits on top of reality. Now, Lin Yang explained was the founders of the UDP. Was a very diverse personnel, politicians. But the perception up in there, perception is like a cloud. The cloud is not tensical. This as a man, this cloud, you have been deceived to believe ne feel as a man CM. But when you fly on an aircraft, aircraft they fly through these clouds, you see another cloud on top. So technically, you're on Earth. What you see up in there is a perception of you believing ne feel out na BM. Feka, we have been told that there are 7 heavens, right? Or there are 7 as a man. So man, I was talking about perception, and it is true that behind any perception, there is an element of truth that sits under, or a rumor. Now the perception, Talib dafa ñëw and then defy UDP when I did it. Ñun li ngeen wax ne ñun lii la nekkul loolu. Now, if we go back to the analysis I was making was not about Talib whether they can pick up playing, because loolu is an internal affairs which I don't want to dwell with. Why when you make the comparison, ñuy dëkku tamit ñu ne okay, Talib bi mu ñëwee in 2018 kenn xamu ko woon. I asked you the question, why was he picked among all those who were the UDP diehard? Yes, he may have followed a procedure, he may have followed a process, but what made him qualify to be part of that process over they were there for so long? Lolo is something I don't know. Now, again, Talib is no longer an executive member. Now, are we saying that no party member is allowed to have such meetings and want to be an independent candidate or want to be a candidate for any political party? If Talib have no executive role so far, then clearly I don't think he's barred from doing anything. However, Limo Dafiligi right now could be seen as a sabotage towards the leadership of the party he claims to be part of. He has to come out and declare himself. Is he in or out? Now, what does he have to lose right now? Nothing. Man, dama believe man, I condemn what he did. Why, yes, Ninga analyze it makes sense. Maybe he wants the party to expel him so he can carry more weight into his political career. And that is politics. Now, political words are not binding. It's the small winner dina def. Linga def hamuloko, lerut la, orut la. Because you're danga ami yakarne, small winner na def A, B, C, and D. Though you cannot rely on those promises as a Bible or Quran. So politics, amul yefi betrayal, amul yefi morality. Kune konte NPP, dema yang on UDP. Kune kate UDP, dema yang on APRC. That
Bro, politics amna morality there. It's just sad that in Gambia.
No, why not?
Babel.
Can I come and contribute?
Okay. Yes, you can, but Babel. Babel. Politics is the second oldest profession apart from prostitution. Notwithstanding, politics should be a noble profession.
It should be, yes.
Wow, so therefore, since it's noble, it should have a moral code. The moral code is honor thy word. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. No, it doesn't happen most of the time. But still, just because that's how many politicians operate, they defy the basic tenet. They defy the basic tenet of politics. If you look at Gambia, I call it political transfer window. Look at you political transfer window, then political entrepreneurship. Lan moo tax ma
Great thinker, you calling Talib corrupt and you want that person to be your president?
I don't say Talib to be my president. I've never said that. I have my own political leader, and the consistency that my leaders have proven to the nation is more than sufficient for people to rally behind them. Not the UDPs and Talib.
No, I'm asking, who is your leader?
Don't ask me that silly question. It's not a question for me to answer. It is very clear.
You hitting below the belt.
I know Halifa Saleh is more competent than any of your leaders. You're
great thinker.
Listen, you people have a
great thinker. You're hitting below the belt.
You are not accepting. Acknowledge the fact. Just acknowledge the fact.
My man, if you come on a platform, you should be able to say who you are.
Don't tell me nothing because you have no morality. You questioning my title saying
you shouldn't hide behind Halifa Saleh. Why can't you fight for Halifa?
Why did you go personal to my own title? Get out of here. What are you talking about? Question yourself for questioning my title.
Great thinker. You
guys are just spewing innuendos here on this platform. Since in the beginning of everything, I was hearing. You are spewing innuendos. Get out of here.
The show is nice. It's not elegant no more. You go too wild.
At least you should be able to go with your name. Great thinker, please.
My name, that has nothing to do with you. I'm not thinking for you. I think for positive people, not you. I don't think for people that don't even have sense of reasoning. I don't think for them.
Why great thinker? Young degenerate conversation with a respectfully.
Assalamu alaikum. So, brother, great thinker. Great drinker, please, can you just hold on a minute? Why just let's make it let's
I get your
point.
You're faking a UDP as Limatajenum.
I got your point, but let's stay on the conversation.
These people, they are the people that give Gambia this trouble that we are. This predicament we are living in today, they brought us to this predicament. Let's the Gambian face the truth, my friend. You saw that it was platform every day. Don't want you the truth. You distract the political space.
Halifa more campaign. Halifa Saleh.
No, guys. You know,
the coalition freed your Ayatollah from prison. Because the coalition free, when you almost scramble for position, destroy the social contract, to hijack everything. Get out of here.
Let's go. This guy will disrupt everything.
Let's stay on the topic.
Why am I moderator? Where is the moderator?
It's not leading to anywhere. Any conversation that is not going to yield any interest to people and it's not going to add any value to people.
Why are you coming up in a conversation that is not going to yield anything?
It is fruitless.
There's something bad. You know that this conversation is not going to yield anything, and we are learning from it.
Guys, I think our maturity as adults should make us have a conversation rather than a monologue on each other, because right now no one is a winner, and honestly I think we're all out here to find a sustainable solution for our collective predicament. And whether you are partisan or not, the end game is a better Gambia. Whoever is going to bring that better Gambia collectively, I think we should put our party lenses aside and support that person at the right time. But right now, looking at Gambia is more important to all of us rather than talking about water under the bridge. Yes, we can learn from the water under the bridge or the spilled milk, but we should not dwell on that because Gambia will not move, and Gambia needs to move. I'm sorry.
That's my stance too.
That's the reality, because the problem here is people like Nyanjai and Babel were analyzing, and people were learning from what they were analyzing to us. Li politique la man am naa fu ma bokk, but loolu taxul ne duma déglu ku nga xam ne mu ngi wax lu am sense. And we are here at least bés bu nekk boo eggee si plateforme yi dafa am looy jàng si nit, because man nu ma analyser affaire yi ak keneen nu ko analyser du benn. So moo tax man bu ma déglu damaa déglu ku nga xam ne dafa analyse bu analyser ba pare man damaa mun a am ma agree yéene yi du ma agree, but the ones that I agree with will be an additional to me. But Lucy, important mooy people should not be angry coming on a platform just because nit ñaa ngi wax nga bugg a ñëw rek yaa because people were under here learning from people like Nyanjai and others. If you come here and said what they were saying didn't yield anything, then I think boo gisee loolu si TikTok bi scroll rek nga romba gaa yi dem feneen. But don't come to the platform and bring this chaos yo isi fii nii ñëpp di xëccoo wante amul njëriñ man mi wax nii I'm in Europe and the voting in the Gambia I don't think I would do it but léegi lu ma wax mooy situation yu nekk di gis lañ nekk di analyse di wax boo ñëwee waxal loo bëgg a wax rek nit ñi déglu la jarul ñuy saagante oo di xëccoo wante fii amul benn njëriñ because the way he was talking is like ku nga xam ne dafa am lu ko meroon.
Hold on, Sam.
But that he is gone.
He cannot defend himself.
Let's go back to the main topic.
We can't be talking about him whilst he's not up here.
No, I agree.
Yeah, because he has the right also to come and defend himself. So let's move.
Sorry for saying that. I'm sorry.
We need a moderator before we go forward.
I am here.
Why, before we go forward, we need a moderator because a conversation that is not Teflon Yola.
Yeah,
I'm happy. Okay, now we have 3 rules of the House. We want to have a discussion about Gambia. People who are partisan can make their partisan positions. And people who want to respond to them can also respond on their partisan position. But at the end of the day, so fekene watan be the fire yield fruit. Let's put Gambia at the epicenter of this conversation. Because I like to engage in a constructive dialogue.
Okay, let me ask this question and we digest on it. I just want to know, like all this unique that happened in the Gambia League, what is the way forward? Because we have 1 year more desperate new election. With all this going on, what is the way forward? What do you think, you people?
The way forward is very simple. The way forward is very simple. Gambians, see, they have a common denominator called Adam Abba. We need to tranquilize that denominator and get a new denominator that will bring progress, cohesion, and development for the people. Development is not only about roads, schools. Development is about, first and foremost, developing the human, giving them employment, giving them good education, access to healthcare, guaranteeing their freedoms. Then that's the soft side of development. Then hard development, which is infrastructure, can be meaningful to people who have possessed soft development tools. That's number 1. Number 2, what brings all of us together is smaller than what can keep up medium term to the election. Meaning,
about they are Gambia first. Because Pungamuna make changes. You have to vote for a political party. You have to belong to a political party. Right? So being in a political party, believe in their programs. So you're being part of it. Because the party's program, that's what you believe in. So you're thinking about Gambia. So sunne bunde halat party nañ halat Gambia man dama bëgg ngeen lolu ngeen explain mako in a very detailed form ma mun ko understand because it's not so understanding agufa.
Daniel.
Yeah.
That's my the same question.
Understanding Aganova. The issue is in an ideal situation where we have a 2-party state. Dinamunane party di moyo because Gambians like a choice of 2 parties. We have a choice of 20 candidates. What we are saying is the present government has a coalition of parties. And we believe, the majority of us believe, that not any one party can actually depose this particular government. So coming together is the reason why we're saying, see Gambia first, come together as a coalition, and get rid of this particular government. Now, after that, if the country's institutions are fixed, then we can go back to our individual parties and seek the electorate's mandate. That's what we're saying when we see put Gambia first at this juncture.
I think that is clear.
Daddy El foog naa ne loolu leer na waaye lu ma la bëgg a wan lu ma see yokk rek mooy ne Daddy El soo gisee man maay wax ne Gambia force ñun ñëpp Gambian leen dëgg la ku nekk am nga fi nga belong su ma neexee ma ne man doy la kum Babel su ko neexee mu ne Essa Fall la but loolu fundamental human right la
caa doy nga bul ne su ma neexee baal ne rek man doy la
non dañoo waxtaan rek dañoo waxtaan xam nga we are not here to argue dañoo waxtaan because man su ma la waxee suma diggante yàlla lu ma xam si politique yëpp I learn it through doy Gambian politics moo tax duma leen dee waaw
Wow, because ñun haleli ñako yoyu lañ won. So we learn from Halifa and the people. And lu ñu jangal moy ne neku te jangal ñu pour ñu ñew ne doy lañu taxawal. Ñun we are looking for Gambia first. Because ku nekk doy rek du la jëlal ne Gambia dafa jël Gambia def ko second. Because so gisee coalition yi fi happen yëpp muy fail. Comme lu ko say doon waxee loolu la rek. Dañ dee ñëw ba ci biir duñ dee gisaati Gambia force ñu gis seen boppa. Because yaa ngi xalaat ne suma parti bi laa bëgg pour mu taxaw. Ta parti bi suñ demee bañ war a form coalition I think dañ war a frozen all the parties comme lu ko Babel doon waxee. We see write a manifest bi nga xam ne ñëpp loolu la ñoo depend on ñu use loolu pour Gambia. Because suñ lu ñu war a def Gambia mooy pour ñu njëkk a koo dekkilaat balaa ñoo jël parti yi. Because Gambia dafa dee dadeel. So the Gambia force loolu mooy the first priority yëpp parti bu nekk loolu lay war a dundee mu wan ko moromam because ñun Adama Barrow mooy suñu problème time bi du UDP du Halifa. So Adama Barrow boobu ne mooy suñu problème laay wax as ñu bëgg a change.
Waaye man MPP la man so Adama Barrow lu suma
collectively Adama Barrow is our
nangul Daniel naa la ko nangul ya naa la nangul ne yow waaye yow sa président bi mooy suma problème man waxtu bi because sa président bi duma ko saaga duma ko wax lu bon waaw waaye lu ma wan rek mooy ne nu ma doxalee si suñ dëkka man neexuma Daniel ay wis na mënoon naa la yónni si moom nga wax ko mu jéem a seet naka la moo doxalee ñu nekk ci gannaawam leadership pop select ay positions yooyu they are not there for the Gambia. They are there for themselves. They are all corrupt. So loolu rek la yóbbante sa président bi yow waaye fu ma waxee rek mooy ne man lu ma bëgg rek mooy other oppositions yëpp ñu jéem a unite together to be as one Gambia then ñu seet foofu ne su gaa yi dem sax ñu vote ko ñu vote loolu ne ku ko win ñun ñëpp ñu ànd ñu jàppale la after the traditional living bi ñun ñëpp ñu bokk ku nekk nga xam li nga def su ko defee dinañ mun a am a good constitution ñu try ñu upgrade the system of the Gambia bi nga xam ne keneen beneen président su ñëwee dafa ñëw fekkal luñ fat li nga xam ne coalition bi def na ko ba pare moom mu take over from there then as a party leading government but luñ bugga rek léegi mooy ñun ñëpp nañ leen bokk a xelaat bari nañ xam jàngakat waaye suñu boolee ku nekk parti bu nekk nga jël five
Chat, man, I believe that is one of the problems because we make Gambia first, then you know Barrow more swing problem. Then we are then saying the individual more swing problem. I don't believe the individual more swing problem. Man Barrow is my problem, even though I am against his government. System way going to be more a problem. The system be more a problem, and that is hence why you test in some dekabi. So we can get dekabi dapat day. Then Barrow is in problem. System be more create the kabi mu there. So thing the Barrow is in problem. That means the individual change that like the individual problem. It's the system itself. I believe
you can't exclude any extremist party. You can't exclude any of them.
I believe that we can have a solid government without. Now, party thing is just going to change the president. The occupant of number one Marina Parade, regular change. System bilaha inherit bente. Systemic problem.
So my question, Moy, do you think you can have a successful coalition without...
I believe we can have a successful coalition if we do it focusing on Gambia first. I believe yes, we belong to...
Now, without having consensus from the established parties.
It's a consensus more in the coalition, did that help? If we're talking about
no, maybe Papa or you're dealing but Lumawa Moy, I'm the Gambia. We have parties they are very well established. We can name them as in the GDC, the APA, the UDP, the DOIS, the APRC, they are a major role player in any coalition for Gambia.
No, but right. We cannot do coalition. Coalition
and Sobea, now Haran Manu, Sobea, maybe.
APRC is already in a coalition with the present government. They are the government.
Still, I'm not convinced Jensen coalition began a game of program.
Because we're trying to get rid of you.
used to add to Teflim Wani. If we and which most parties are if we believe if parties make believe Barrow is our problem, now that becomes part of the bigger problem why we can't remove Barrow. Because we are only fixated onto one individual when it is the system. Because Jammeh was the problem. Now, we have not learned our lessons. Jammeh was not the problem. It was the system that Jammeh was riding on the problem. Now, Barrow Nyona, the same system, must right now. I want to keep going. The same thing. Now, here, we need to have a unified voice, one government in it. The problem is not Barrow. Barrow is a main player in next election. Without him, the country talk for but he will diagnose a problem. But it is the system that he is using against the people of the Gambian, including ourselves, which is a threat to democracy. Now, our political parties campaigning on that system or on Barrow as an individual. Now, last elections, I will bring again UDP. All their campaign was on Barrow. What Barrow did, Barrow went and had a contract with 40 media houses in the Gambia, investing and campaigning and injecting the NPP idea. Barrow went out and campaigned peacefully and won. When other political parties and individuals, we are campaigning on Barrow Dafali, right now, you know what, Barrow raison halay. But there is something linga hamne, mota Barrow am the audacity. Pomuna send water cannons on youths on the streets without no arms. Look at the one I saw yesterday, Mogi. They approach this police less than 2-3 meters and they fire tear gas at close range on their faces. Now, that is a system we want to remove. And any president in the Gambia can do that because you have the IGP at your disposal. Now, how about we go and campaign against a system? What system is this new party bringing in? How many political parties in the Gambia have a system different from what we have right now? How about if we have all presidential candidates sacrifice the long-term, lifelong of their political parties? Then you am a reformist government, a reformist coalition. We did in 2016. In 2016, the campaign agenda was New Gambia, and Gambia has decided. So why can the same Gambia decide again for 2026? What has went wrong? The same Gambia can decide again. The same never again can happen again. But are these political parties ready to sacrifice sa party lam dunda ak lam dafip? Why soon toge si watan yune? Ma figina rele, ma figina sonale, wa kuneka gis bopam, kuneka damala bopam. If we have a common problem, it requires a common solution. But you cannot address a common problem with individual solutions because you are partitioning the problem. You are not resolving it. You're so winning, sir. You're only solving what matters to you, which you think was a problem. But how about the other side how about the other sides? So you know what to push the agenda, force our political parties, talk wah. Li figambio tolu ni, amul kugina mak, amul kugina janga, amul kugina yaga, amul ku opale. Lufi am moy ñep ñoo MC problem bi. Youth yinte demba, minority. It was a combination of a youth from APRC, MPP, GDC, Barisok, Sobeya, and you name it. So we need to inject that every conversation, every platform. Talk di watani, banyom guy believe the guy then guy maybe then stop it to him. But until then, politicians will capitalize on our divide. And that's the Gambia. Every politician wants numbers. So you say te mother you here. Mugi NPP mangi sobeya kineka MPP wane a did it that at pa us boom ever jubo because soon jubo rek munadam si patem. And this is politics, and this is going in favor of the political parties. Stay home waxuñ ko but ñu ko dundé political party bu nekk
the Alhassan Tamsu ibe may can be known now that no one you come together because this is not in the interest.
No, Steph, man have never not saying a bullet no together. I man, I always, okay,
Never said it directly, but you never said it directly, but you always
Everybody's have opinion. Let me reserve that opinion. You know, man, I know the politics is all about strategy and it's all about planning. And then the NPP, we're playing our games right, and we have
Big
our
time,
strategies, we're putting them in place.
You can't even flag any woman. You know, right now, we enjoy the game.
Mom, and I'm not a 2026 dal mom. So we, but regular no giga.
No, depending. Dafa depend.
Okay. But John.
Can I just contribute a little bit?
If Team Gambia 2026 is materialized, Adam Barrow will be history in 2026.
Okay. Team 2026
Team Gambia 2026.
Okay, Team Gambia.
It's a Gambia first project. It's a Gambia first project. First project.
But man kuna change to the 44th Battalion of the Army.
No. So you go to fair glue family fair kula.
Very beautiful. So you cannot have a battalion there.
So you go to fair kula. No. We want to do with all the past odds and build a new Gambia. Build a new Gambia that is sustainable. You know, political environment bohamne can do what did have nakasudut nunu. You know, this is the Gambia we want. And anybody who have this concept of Gambia force, Team Gambia 2026 is the answer.
But I think we always say Gambia first, but it's kind of sounding something that is very idealistic. The reason why I'm saying that is because we tend to focus on the presidency only, but it's not about the Gambia as a whole. So if we say Gambia first, why is it that since we are the one who put Barrow in power since 2016, we didn't come together, look at the system and try to change certain system, work side by Barrow and put Gambia first. Instead of going halfway and then jumping off the ship and then saying, okay, we don't like the way he's governing, so we are not going to, side by him. I think we should continue that Gambia first ideology and still find ways to support the government even without removing the president per se. There are so many ways that we can change the country by working side by side with the government. But why are we just focusing on one position, that is the presidency? And we know that there are so many places that have loopholes that we can still fix. When I have people saying that, okay, we are giving up on the Gambia because we cannot change the presidency. I was like, why? Is your intention to change Barrow alone, or is your intention to change the Gambia itself? I think we should focus on the
entire system. At the head of the system, changing that person is first step. Then we change the entire system, because if the driver of the bus doesn't have a driver's license and is running into potholes all day long for nearly 10 years, then we know he has no idea. He doesn't have a plan for the nation. There is no blueprint he's following. The 90% of Lambert don't behave. Come on, man. It's catastrophe.
But the president cannot run the country. He runs it side by side with the rest of the Gambian population.
Can I comment? Barrow's presidency was a project. Am I right? Barrow was elected based on a project, a 3 years project. Right? Barrow was not elected to lead us for 8 years or more than 3 years. This was a project that this is the project that brought Barrow, for a total revamp.
Barrow was a project, but NPP is a political party in government.
Excuse me, it was the project before NPP. Am I right?
Okay. Well, now it's NPP, right?
But can I come in? Was it not a project before NPP? It was a project before NPP, and because the project was, butchered, or would I call it that way, butchered, because of interest.
Project.
Excuse me?
NPP is the byproduct of a failed project.
A failed project. Thank you very much. It's a byproduct of a failed project. No, but let's call this spade a spade. Brother man, we are all Gambians. Okay, if Gambia fail, we all fail.
But if that's the case, then we have to go back to history because APRC formed from a project of AFPRC, right?
But now you see, you are getting us back. You know, we are trying to forge forward.
That's why we got rid of them. That's why we got rid of them. That's why we built a project at 2016 to get rid of them. We got rid of them.
Thank you. And to build a new project.
It came back as a byproduct of another failed project. They had a second coming. And the Gambian people voted for them. Due to the division we have amongst our political elite. We went back. In reality, we installed Jammeh back without even paying attention to the fact that we got him back into office.
That's the fact. By the carelessness of certain political leaders.
Stephen's mic not clear.
Maybe he's far away from his microphone.
Mom, living on headset and be more good.
No, I invested in a microphone that's not working. But
Am I clear now?
Yes.
Perfect. Wow, now.
Okay, cool. Yes. So, Al-Hassan, what did you want to hear? What did you miss?
So what I'm trying to say is that there are other political parties who are part of the project. They continued. And that is why now Barrow is having a huge, alliances around him, working with him.
They continued due to the division they have.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Just because they continued doesn't mean it was right to continue. They continued because they were of the division. But that is in the past. We've seen the results of them continuing with this alliance. It's not working, Al-Hassan. And you know deeply down that we have serious problems.
But what makes you think that other alliances would work if we say this?
We're not going to say it's not going to work if we haven't tried them yet.
Excuse me, Al-Hassan, there is one thing. If you have if you want to build a house, right? You first draw a plan. Okay? You get that plan approved because you feel this is perfect. Now I can go on and build a house without a problem. Right?
Yes.
But immediately you put that building plan and you want to construct the same house without the plan, my brother, you have a problem. And this is what happened in 2017 after the project was successful in 2016. To implement the project in 2017 was the problem. They put that plan aside and want to implement the project, and this is why it fails.
So what
all that was enshrined in the MOU of 2016. If it has been implemented, we will not be having to fight another fight again.
I'm with John.
So what I'm saying is
let us understand this, right? Even if a new coalition comes, whoever becomes the flag bearer is going to be sworn in as an executive president of the Gambia. Right?
Depending.
No, I'm with Ben depending. As long as the constitution is there.
He will be swearing by the constitution. He will be swearing by the constitution, upholding the agreement that brought him into office.
Upholding the agreement or upholding the constitution of the Gambia.
He will be sworn in by the constitution.
Which will make you an executive president. Which will make
not as an executive president, no, as a coalition president. But the constitution have provided all what we need to build a functioning democracy. The constitution cannot be manipulated by people who thought they are the masters of the constitution, so without them it doesn't work. No,
but do you agree, at the moment, the 1997, the president is an executive president?
The 1997 constitution, yes.
Right. And
but was he elected based on
as long as we have
elected based on that? Was that his agreement with the Gambian people?
No,
that he will go according to the constitution?
Listen, human beings, we cannot predict what they're going to do tomorrow. We can only hope and believe that they will.
No.
We cannot.
Look,
John,
My brother.
We cannot predict what somebody's going to do tomorrow.
What you agreed with the people is what you are expected to implement. Nothing more, nothing less. Because this is what you agree with the people until you come to office. Anything you do at the absence of that is immoral.
That brings me back to my question. Expected to do. But we cannot know for certain that that's what you're going to do.
My brother, any person with moral standing.
Oh, there we go.
An agreement is an agreement. An agreement is an agreement. Brother man, so buge ma trust la. The first thing you ma d'accord ak yow, mo de nek ci sa mind bi. Immediately nga break ko. Suñu waré make at benen d'accord nga am ñaari xel ndax dit.
Na way luma wa moy xam nga trust nit. Balam fa aga nga ko de go. Tulul.
Am na ñu jara trust mu am ñu jarut a trust. Because nit ki soko xamé one time nga day xam nit.
Man politic that I don't trust anybody. I think somebody only behave.
Wow, Gambian politics because kila buga dina fa neka whether like na ko like ko Gambian politics. They don't look at we don't look at the programs of the parties. We look at the personalities. That is Gambian.
I disagree with that. I disagree. Now,
of course. Otherwise, our National Assembly will not be filled with those what we call them. I wouldn't like to use things to describe people. Nit ki ñun Gambia dañ des sele kuñ buga du jage ne ki police nangam la am.
Jobis may ma 2 seconds. Xam nga suñu waxtaan. Now, we're going to promote democracy. Now, when they talk, they want National Assembly do living because those National Assembly they are the choice of the people.
Yes, this is what I mean. Thank you.
Exactly.
But are they the best choices?
Okay, I will agree with Teflon Fela. As long as the system are in place, not somebody personality would come. Telling our politics in Gambia. Now, majority of the voters do not really see the programs and the manifesto of a political party more than you vote because they lola. So they lola. You take. The reason why you don't vote for UDP, you will not tell me because their manifesto and their program is not good for Gambia.
Of course. Man lola dewa.
No.
Of course.
Because tell me
because man, let me just take us about my response. Man, I live in Germany and I live in a country that is a social state. Man, I will never support any party, any political party is capitalist. Man, I don't vote capitalist. I vote social.
So that makes you a PDOIS, right?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Policy.
Now I got my answer. I just not my answer.
Thank you very much.
Money man yen ñaar yi tax ma ek talibé Adama Barrow ak talibé Dr Cissé bi yen ñaar yi tax ma ek gis nga
talibé Dr Cissé bi
yow talibé kan
Alassane mooy talibé Dr Cissé et dari mooy talibé Adama Barrow gis nga yéen bàyyi leen ni ñoo di daybaat suñu waxtaan yi ñu ngi doon waxtaan suñu affaire bi coalition naka la ñoo demee kanam ngeen ñëw di ñu delloo gannaaw bàyyi leen ginnaaw leen si li ngeen nekka
non waaye waxtaani Gambia la di
ma ne waxtaani Gambia lañ nekka te yéen si luñ nekka tey ba ëllëg yéen ñaar doo leen si bokk xam ngeen lu ñu leen la wax
xam nga Jobis gars yi POI ñoom dañ bëgg a jël credit of this new coalition
moom doy la
they just want to get the credit for it. So, ñoom loolu la. Xanaa gisuloo 2026 bi sax ñu ngi ko bëgg a moomal seen bopp ñun ñoo ko pioneer waaye ñun ñoo ko lii.
te ñoom ñoo am coalition phobia.
No, that is not true.
Ñoom ñoo am coalition phobia.
Loolu amut. Loolu amut. Am naa loolu ay jam xeer la rek.
waaye nag on a serious note dari el xam ngeen ne seen nguur gi doxut xam ngeen ko yaa Alhasan yëpp xam ngeen ne seen nguur gi doxut
waaye comme doxut lañ bëgg a xam pour ñu improve that is our all point.
Xale yaa ngi de police yaa ngi rees xale si mbedd bi every day.
Ma
ne police yaa ngi rees xale si mbedd bi every day. Loolu nguur bu dox la.
Where did you get that data?
Data bi de man ko am de. Because every day boo ñu ngeen dem di sànni gas yi si këri jàmbur.
Man dama de agree ak ñoom man dama la deewal ne man. We are open to criticism. Man, I've never claimed that we have a perfect government.
Yeah, exactly.
There are things that we got wrong. We're not claiming to that we've got everything right.
Are you correcting them?
Of course.
That is why we are here.
Are you correcting them? 1 week, the country has been rocked by protests of police brutality. What do you correct? From one police station, from one village to the other.
John, that police brutality now. Now, if Barrow, Sunyawe, and saying, I'm going to set an inquiry to this, to look into it, to what happened, and whoever is found guilty, regardless to police, Nanyaka police, takes account. Now, Kanalulu is not the right thing to do, because what do you expect the government to do now?
What I expect the government to do, let me tell you this.
Wow.
On a perfect or on a normal functioning democracy, the evidence is there to show police then fit duga, new defa operation, need defa. You know the responsibility of the police, what it should have been in the first place, from the command of need them on operation bobonono, from the command, because dokojo individual. Why from the command, they are answerable to this crime and let them go on suspended leave until everything is clear. You cannot send them again tomorrow after somebody died from somewhere due to their action. It led to somebody's death, and then you send them to go and quench another protest where they are putting people's life in danger.
I agree with that. Why are you the same people? No, definitely no them
No, it's the police. It's an institution. The same bad video more than but it's a police institution. Why did my bro? We are seeing it. Investigate.
No, understand that.
This team would definitely operation B. And the same team, need then and team, put you them quell the protest, and this protest is costing the same thing again.
No, John, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But just because
you are doing something, I said, what are you doing? What is happening right now?
Just because a particular batch of police operate in a manner and a way that doesn't align with the police conduct, doesn't mean the policing of the Gambia have to stop.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But they should be reprimanded. Those who caused the death of somebody should be at least called and be cautioned. Does it happen?
But these things are processed. Right?
There are processes you have there. Justice delayed is justice denied because people are seeing what is going on. Brother man, I am not how you say?
I'm not police brutality. Nobody will advocate for that. Now, look,
but it's happening.
Right?
It's happening.
Yeah.
What Mota Manela, Landla government did the death to cope it. Because it's happening for almost 1 week. It's continuous. It's going every day. What is the government doing to cope it? It's touching every side of the society, every sector of the society, you get angry. And is it good for the government?
No.
Thank you.
No.
What are you doing towards it? What are you doing to curb it? People have the right to protest. Yes. It is the responsibility of the police to make sure that all the protesters are secured and the police are safe and no property is damaged. Yeah. But the people have the right to protest.
But Hamga, there's a difference between protest and a riot, right?
The police lead to the riot according to what we are witnessing.
Okay.
Because an angry man doko attack with anger because after being provoked, life has lost. Her life has been lost. It's one single life of a Gambian that has been lost under the police protection or whatever. It's a heinous crime.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you. The government
should be condemned, but the people are angry. Man mangini mange kumase di irritate because hanga don't need more there. Boy, back la. Take kiko warona ar kuku moko dem rey. Brother man, action, immediate action, a swift action should have been taken. But still, bete mange wahayo. The street of Gambia are full. Are you watching?
Yeah. I've seen. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Is it good? Is it a good sign? What kind of democracy do we vote for in 2026 and 2016? Just to come and get back the same system again or more repressive system? Brother man, we are all Gambians. Must support party B, must support government B. But even if it was my own government or a government that I elected, a president that I elected with my own vote, I will stand on the street and hold a mic and say, Mister, This is not why I elected you.
Right. True.
What are you doing to cope what is happening in the streets? What is your government doing?
How would you have advised the police force to attend to riots? How do they go?
Don't provoke a situation where it will escalate.
Sorry?
Let them not provoke a situation where the protest will escalate and become a riot.
As in, kindly break it down for me.
Okay. Then you scene that more happen fees in a certain environment. You only got them for def more, you got them got quell what is happening and maintain peace and order. This is what is expected. And if arrest is made because there are intruders and blah blah blah, bring them before justice, judge them, and if they are guilty, let them pay the price. But you must not beat them before they reach the police. That's not your duty. Your duty is to arrest, prosecute the law offenders, not to beat them because you are not the judge. You have no right, you have no powers to do what otherwise apart from arrest. Is that what the police are doing?
And John, do you think the government is privy, as in Barrow, is privy to everything that happened in the police cells?
This is what we said Yaya Jammeh did. So if Jammeh was privy to all what was happening in Gambia, then Yaya Jammeh, how you call it, Adama must be privy too. Okay. He's the head of state. He said he is the most informed person in the country. So he said, and we heard it.
Okay. Now you're right. Hamga dekamo soon abe even one person ko hamne is dissatisfied. I'm not right. Put one in the monthly content with the bugo. That's their right to do that.
And Adam Barrow should have been the first person to be dissatisfied after a life is lost.
No more support the NPP, right? I still come out and say, I believe that the government got this one wrong, right? And institutions, operate. I believe there's a lot of changes you have working for. Now
you recognize the wrongs. What are the precautions to avoid occurrences?
Okay.
What is your advice to your president and your government?
Now, these things happened recently, right? Now, at the moment, I think the government is away. See UN living. Barrow from now away still. No one good.
Barrow them away from. The government is not one person. Barrow is a president. He is not the government.
Did it. Why should you know what?
No, but Barrow has not gone. It was the vice president that went.
Okay. Why sometimes. Now we have to.
Barrow has not gone. He's in the country.
Yeah, correction. Point of correction, yes.
Barrow is in the country. No, the one buying a robber for Barrow is in the country.
Okay.
So now he hasn't gone, he's in the country. Carry on.
Well, okay. Now, okay. Now, and this is my opinion. I believe that in such ways, when it's happening, it is important for the head of state to come out and make a statement, especially when there is a loss of life involved. That's one of your people, Koham Medela, whether he voted for you or not. But you should be able to show remorse and concern. The deal happen, and you're doing everything within your power to get to the bottom of it. Now, those kind of statements should be made from the head of state. This is what I believe in, right? I believe that. Lulu wasn't good there. Wasn't good there. Why sometimes I believe we then they come to resolve so quickly. The government num de dohe legi miram do they go because the process you have they follow to get to the bottom of things.
And you know the saddest part of everything is the saddest part of everything. So government said investigation, amut conclusion. It's a continuous everlasting process. And this is the fact.
True.
Limonyo is disturbing you, is disturbing me, is disturbing each and every Gambian. Because after putting you have yep luhel, loss it def nakazudut no right, people will hold you accountable naki mungen judge because you have Saban investigation more new into conclusion, monga finalize be jail action. Can you just give me one? from the government white paper, TRRC, Jane Commission, Faraba Commission, Karab, all the commissions. Tell me, ban mosi conclude ben you def send closing living conclusion. Who is held accountable for all this what has been happening, from corruption to everything? Can you be held accountable under your government?
Maybe where they should work on is disseminating the result findings. I think that's where they are lagging. Because even myself, at some point, I thought the TRRC, there was they were not acting on the white paper. But then I realized there was another live that I joined, and I realized that they had some of the results, like the progress, about 163, points on the white paper that they have already started implementing, and some have actually been concluded. So I think the dissemination, sharing the results with people is where they are lagging. And in fact, in areas of corruption, I think they are trying a lot of people, but then they didn't share all those information with us until the day that they had that press briefing with Gala. That is when we learned that, okay, they were trying people on corruption, but all these things, all this information wasn't coming out in public. I think that is where their limitation lies.
A government that operates discreetly is a government that has contempt. Because if there is anything, if you are doing some certain, how you call it, prosecution under the ground, after we know who are involved, and you're prosecuting them secretly, there is something hiding.
No, it's not secret.
The TRRC,
it's in the open.
Why is it not made known to the public? Why is it not made known to the public from the initial stage?
That is where
why now, after the protests?
Media chooses what it focuses on mostly, and the media should have been aware of most of the things. What they choose,
we've witnessed certain media houses here. Certain media houses here who are critics of the president, and they will never spare anything in the dark. They will always reveal anything, because certain media houses are not friendly to the government, and anything at their desk, the public will know. The government just don't disseminate the information. It was kept discreet.
Yeah, but then good news, like people will say, sometimes it doesn't take, it doesn't sell as much as bad news would sell. So those things are good for the government, and people have this notion that, okay, if government is doing well, you shouldn't go out in public telling them they are good, doing well. If not, they would relax. A lot of people have that conception in the Gambia, whether it's wrong or right. That is another debating point. But however, these things are happening, and the media is aware of it, but then they don't sell it out. I believe the government should take that step and then pump into their communications to ensure that not just not a propaganda tool, but then to make sure that this information reach out to the rest of the public for them to know what they have achieved so far. But then they are lacking there. I'm not saying they are not sharing it. It is on their websites. People can access it. But taking it from the website, taking to the media and talking about it. The
website is sometimes crazy, man. You go there, the main informations you want to get are redacted. Yes,
no, but
we go to the government website.
I'm talking about there all
the most important information that the people seek, if the government don't want them published, they are redacted.
No, but these ones that I'm talking about, they are still there. If you go to their...
Okay, but you understand the point I'm trying to make here, right?
Yeah, I understand your point. And they have a...
Thank you very much.
Lapses. Yeah. But then, like I was saying, like there are a lot of places that we can still collaborate. I mean, between the government and also the opposition parties.
We don't want to collaborate. We want you out.
No. Collaboration with the government at this point.
Now you want to collaborate. Now?
No, not now.
We want you out, man.
Things fall apart.
We're tired of
fall apart.
No, but you are Lulu.
We've seen what you're capable of, yeah? It's not enough.
I'm telling you, this government gives people a very big chance. This is a very big opportunity that the country has, the Gambia has. If Barrow is out, we don't know who is coming next, and we don't know how that person is going to act. Jawara was
that is democracy.
President. He was a democratic president. And when he left, Jammeh came in, and then people were like, okay, we missed the Jawara regime. we miss the democracy that we have.
That's democracy, man. That's
So,
how it
yes.
is. People have
Democracy
a choice
is
to
just-
choose.
it's
The
just
people
like
want
democracy.
My friend,
It's not
elections
something
happen
that's-
because we want somebody to go and somebody to come in. And the winner takes all. That's what happens. So we're not going to say, oh, just because we don't know who's coming, so we're going to be sitting with the one we know is incapable. That's
Yes,
not how it works.
but that doesn't also stop us from making the best use of this momentum that we have, because we've seen what happened in America, right? Obama was
Yeah,
there.
that's America. We're talking about Gambia. Our problems
Yes,
we are talking about Gambia.
Okay, then
Our
let's
problems are different.
Let's stick to the Gambia then.
Yeah,
we can stick to the Gambia. We see what was happening during the Jawara era. It was very democratic, and within the snap of a finger, we lost everything. So what I'm trying to say is that we shouldn't.
We lost everything, not due to elections. We lost everything.
We lost everything
because
exactly.
of a coup d'etat. So that is different. That wasn't our choice. It was forced upon us.
Exactly.
That is different. You understand? And when he came in, a certain sect of the Gambian population felt that Jammeh did some good. And whether we like Jammeh or not, some of us who don't even like him are benefiting from some of the good he did. That doesn't take, we're not saying that every president has to be perfect. No government is going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. What we cannot condone anymore is mistakes upon mistakes that are costing us not only the lives of the youth, but the lives of our women giving birth in hospitals that are not equipped, not even decent for an animal to give birth in. Number one, they're losing their lives. We cannot condone a government that would let in medicine that would basically take the lives of our babies. That we cannot condone. We cannot condone a government that is lacking in just securing us, just security, basic necessity that any government should provide as your number one agenda, securing the state and the people and their property and their lives. We cannot sit here and see that our central bank is giving LCs to the president's nephew. We cannot sit here and see that many institutions, in fact, all the institutions in that country are non-functional. On top of that, a constitution that the entirety of the Gambian people wanted has been scrapped because it doesn't favor one individual, one citizen.
Because it discriminates one citizen, not it doesn't favor.
Yet this same government is discriminating a majority of Gambians. We've sat here and seen an auditor general that is not in favor of government marked out of his office by police officers and security agencies infiltrating that office. That is backed by constitution, not on the whim of the...
Which is against the law that they are supposed to protect.
So the laws are being broken by those who are supposed to safeguard the law. Come on, man. No matter how much you support this government, you should know that this is the truth. The facts
And one
are
thing we cannot
indisputable.
condone, another thing we cannot
Still,
condone
we would give excuse to this government because for some reason we support this government and it favors us. I don't understand. If we are saying that I don't care what government comes in. Dude, I supported UDP. When Barrow was in good terms with UDP, every morning I wake up and I write a status about Barrow, how nonsensical his government is. The same UDP folks that you're seeing now cussing Barrow out are the ones that used to call me and inbox me and say, take it down.
Insult you. Yeah.
And tell me to take it down, or do you don't understand? I said, no, I cannot just support him just because he comes from a party I support. When I feel that what he's doing is wrong. Wrong is wrong. If I vote for SFL tomorrow and then he's doing wrong, I'm going to put statuses up saying he's wrong. I'm not going to worship an individual or back an individual just because he's my tribe or whatever. You understand? The problems of Gambia are deep.
It's not like I'm trying to support, but then what I'm trying to say is that we can fix them.
You know,
So
you and
like-
Daddy L, you are very tricky. You come here
we
and
can
act like
fix
you're
them.
on the fence. So you try to please us with your tone and some of your rhetoric, but deep down you are
No, it's about
putting in
Gambia
little
first.
things that are going to make us feel like, okay, we can work with these people. We can't, because you are here to defend a government that we want out.
We still have hope. That is what